السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه وبعد. Inshallah ta'ala, in this class we're going to focus mainly on Arabic writing. And majority of us, when we look at Arabic writing, we don't give it the right perception. And what happens is that you find students of Arabic who study Arabic, they don't pay attention to this subject itself. Now, this type of subject, which covers a huge grounds in Arabic language, is a neglected one. And to be honest, you'll find that someone has literally reached to a certain level of studying. Maybe they can be very good at fiqh, or maybe the same Arabic, but perhaps the course or maybe the teachers, they neglect that subject, or the students themselves don't pay attention to it. Hence, you find majority of Quran students, mathalan, they will make mistakes which relate to writing, and because of that, they don't realize that writing and Arabic reading, actually Arabic writing and Arabic reading, they correlate together. Literally, they go in parallel lines like that. If you can't write properly, then you wouldn't be able to read properly. And if you don't understand the rules of writing, you will end up making mistakes in your reading. That's what it is. And we're going to look at those, inshallah ta'ala, in this lesson, bi'idhnillah al-kareem, and show you some examples of, okay, how do you start to write Arabic, and what are the mistakes that you need to avoid, mathalan, in only some topics that we're going to cover, inshallah ta'ala, related to Arabic writing. And something that you should understand is that Arabic writing is called al-imla. That subject is known as al-imla. Let's write this down. The reason why I wrote this is so that I don't forget the point that I want to raise. So you notice, what is it called? Al-imla. Bear with me. No. Al-imla. If I am to put diacritics on this, then I'll put one here to say no. Yes. Al-imla. Al-imla. Now, why did I not put a fatha over here and say al-imla? Okay. Why did I not put a fatha over here to say al-imla? Because it's incorrect. Because it's what? Incorrect. Now, if you realize that, it becomes really simple to know, okay, when do I put the critics fatha, kasra, dhamma? Which one do I put, let's say, according to the word that I have? Let's look at one example, bi'idhnillah al-kareem, and that is, if you can see irji'u, irji'u. Allah says in Surah Yusuf, irji'u ila abikum. Irji'u ila abikum. But I want you to mainly focus on this so-called Hamza, this Hamza here. And let me just write that with red. Yes. Focus on this Hamza here. Yes. This Hamza which says irji'u. Irji'u. I'm just going to put a line underneath it so you realize. Yeah. Irji'u. But then there's another place in the Quran that you notice Allah doesn't say irji'u anymore. In fact, it's warji'u. And I put this on red on purpose. Look, it's the same Hamza. It's the same Hamza that you say irji'u, and it's the same one that you say warji'u. You say warji'u. In this case, this type of Hamza is known as Hamzatul Wasl. Is known as Hamzatul Wasl. Hamzatul Wasli. لذلك you find that Al-Imam Al-Jazari rahimahullah ta'ala in his text known as Al-Muqaddimatul Jazariyah, and it is used for those who want to master basically an introductory text in Tajweed. After you learn that, some of the students, they memorize Tuhfatul Murid, then they memorize this, and after that they take it further for those who want to literally focus on Quran, and they memorize Ash-Shatibiyah. But what does he say? وابدأ بهمز الوصل من فعل وصل من فعل بضم إن كان ثالث من الفعل يضم. He has an entire chapter in that text just related to Hamzatul Wasl. Now, this Hamzatul Wasl is extremely important that many of us, we don't understand how to use it. But that's why we make a lot of mistakes. And you can see, if you look at this, if you look at the board over here, as I wrote Al-Imla, look at this one. Irji'u, with a kasra, sukun, jim, kasra, and irji'. Irji'. Okay, irji'. That's how you say it. Lakin this same Hamza, if there was a waw before that, you wouldn't say wa irji'. Wa irji' hada ghalat. If you say wa irji', هذا غلط. هذا غلط. So what do you say? You say وارجع. وارجع. Why do you say warji' over here? Why do you say warji' over here? Because Hamzatul Wasl is known as a Hamza used. This alif which you can see here, this alif, these alifs, these are known in Arabic as Hamzatul Wasli. They're not known as alif, alif, the way we learn the qaida. We learn the qaida to say alif, ba, ta, tha, like this. Like when it comes to the actual terms, they're known as Hamza. Because we have two types of Hamza. In Arabic, you notice we don't just have Hamzatul Wasli. We have Hamza. I'm going to write it in Arabic, and then I want you to either write it down and take notes of this, or you can memorize it, which will be much more preferable, actually preferable. Hamzatul Qata'i. Hamzatul Qata'i. I didn't write qata'i first because I didn't start with that in this subject. So you notice this hamzatul qata'i. What is it? Hamzatul qata'i is different from hamzatul wasli. Hamzatul qata'i is different from hamzatul wasli. Now I want you to break away from the norm that's used as alif, hamza, or and that. Like if you're just starting, that's when you say alif, hamza, and all of that. And I'll explain to you why. Look, hamzatul wasli. If we come back to this, is the example of brackets, sorry, alif, just alif, okay? Hamzatul qat'i, however, is the example of this. Why do I keep on changing the font? Yeah, Hamzatul qat'i, Hamzatul qat'i, no, not here, sure. Hamzatul qat'i is the alif with a hamza on top. The alif with a hamza on top. It is known as Hamzatul qat'i. In the rules of Imla, the science or the subject of Al-Imla, Arabic writing, you have to call them in that manner. We don't say alif hamza. That little hamza you see on top, that one, you don't say alif hamza. We separate the hamza and the alif. That's why the scholars of Arabic, you see that when it comes to writing, they've differed a lot. Some say is not actually 27 letters. Some say it's even beyond that, either 26, 28, 29, and so forth. Because they're arguing, is the alif and the hamza meant to be like that or what? So عندما فرقوا بين الاثنين بين الحرفين, when they separated from the two letters, that's why they call this one alif and they call this one hamza. This little mark on top over here, on top of this on top of the hamzatul qat'i, you see that hamza on top? Yes, you notice this little mark up here, this one is known as hamza. What is the norm? And I agree, yes, it is the norm. However, it is not correct according to the rules of imla. Always remember that. According to the rules of imla, and I want you to repeat with me, hamzatul wasli does not contain the hamza on top. Hamzatul qata'i is the one that has the hamza on top. Understood? The alif has the hamza on top. What's the difference between the two? The difference of them two is that when you read, mathalan, when you read, you might find a word. I'm going to use the same word, okay? Oh, yeah, I'm going to use the same word. Ir, ir. In this case, we have irji', irji'. Irji', like this. Now this one, you will read the alif as irji'. Irji'. It's simple as that. Let me put the whiteboard for you. Yes, I think you can see it. Yeah, irji'. You read it as irji'. Look at this hamza. This hamzatul wasli is known as this type of hamza. You see this type of hamza? It's known as hamzatul wasli. Lakin when this type of hamza exists and is literally preceded by either wow like this, or it can be preceded by fa, and this is not how you write the fa anyways. Fa, like in the fa has a fatha, mathalan, fatha in this case. Wow or fa, you notice that what does it stand for? What do you do in this case, Afwan? What do? You don't read it as wa irji' or fa irji'. That's wrong. You read it as farji' or warji'. Farji' or warji'. Okay? Farji' or warji'. Let's use some examples from the Quran and clarify this issue in regards to the hamzatul wasli itself. Then we're going to come to the hamzatul qata'i. That should be much easier to understand, inshallah ta'ala. Look, Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala says irji'u. irji'u. I highlighted that. Let me just put a mark on it. Irji'u, irji'u, not warji'u. It's irji'u, isn't it? ارجعوا إلى أبيكم فقولوا يا أبانا إن ابنك. Now look, إن. The other word is ibnaka. You read this as ibnaka. And Imam al-Jazari rahimahullah ta'ala, he mentions the ten words, the 10 nouns, which they always have hamzatul wasl at the beginning. And the ulama of Imla, of this subject that we're covering over here, Arabic writing in itself, you notice that what do they say? In nouns, these are the main 10 nouns which would not have hamzatul qat'i, the hamza with the alif with the hamza on top. It wouldn't have that. It will always have the hamzatul wasli, the plain alif. Remember that. And beyond these, they say that the other nouns don't have that case. They're not in that. They're not like that. Inshallah ta'ala. However, that's another topic that we don't want to look into right now. But just to maintain and explain to you about it. Irji'u. Okay, that's very clear. Irji'u. Let's look at another surah in Surah Al-Anbiya. You notice that Allah says what? شوف, Allah says لا تركضوا وارجعوا وارجعوا وارجعوا, like that. Now لا تركضوا وارجعوا إلى ما أترفتم فيه ومساكنكم لعلكم تسألون. لعلكم تسألون. It's as simple as that. Now in this case you can't say وارجعوا. If you say وارجعوا, هذا غلط. That's a mistake. So you don't say وارجعوا, you say وارجعوا. Over there we said irji'u because it doesn't have either waw or fa. So over here, because it has a waw, you dismiss the pronunciation of the alif. Now this type of alif, as we said, it is known as hamzatul wasli. Hamzatul wasli, the continuing hamza which is added there for its reason. If you come back again now, when it comes to the hamzatul qata'i, in this case, hamzatul qata'i, aywa, what do we have? If you have the same word as arji', okay, arji', like this, you have to pronounce this, you see, with a fatha. Let me just give it a space. There you go. What do you say? Arji'u, arji'u. What if I add a waw at the beginning? Do you say warji'u? لا, هذا غلط. What do you say? وأرجع لأن الهمزة الموجودة فوق الألف التي توجد فوق الألف. The hamza which is found on top of the alif denies um, its silence. You cannot have it silent. You have to pronounce it as وأرجع. وأرجع. That's how you read. Now, how does this help you? How does this help you? If you have, مثلا, let me give you an example so you can see clearly why. When you're studying Arabic, particularly as an Arabic student, you want to reach to a level where you can read Arabic without having any diacritics on top. You can read Arabic without having any diacritics on top, meaning the harakat, fatha, kasra, dhamma, sukun, any one of these. After you have studied the basics in terms of, okay, you know the verbs, you know the nouns, even if it's the most basic of what you've covered, you know how to take a word from past to present to future tense in the verb sense, and then you look at the nouns, you can do them at the very least, some nouns, small nouns, which are 3-lettered nouns, mathalan, or maybe can be 4-lettered nouns, 5-lettered nouns, you know how to take them from single form to dual form to plural form. Because those are the 3 types of quantities that we have. We have one single, we have the dual, and we have the plural in this case. And because of that, you realize, okay, when it comes to counting, you can do that as well, simply put. So now this is the rule. Look at this, bear with me. If I write for you over here, if I write for you just this, okay? And then you have like this, like that. Do you know what's the difference between the two? Well, you know what's the difference between the two? This one over here is a what? This one over here is a commanding tense. This one over here is a commanding tense in this case. However, this one, you notice it's not a commanding tense. Actually, it's a present tense. It's a present tense. It's a what? It's a present tense. So what do you say over here? Irji'. Over here you say arji'u. Okay, irji' over here you read as arji'u. Now when you learn the rules of how to use Arabic words, then after that you learn, okay, when it comes to writing, and when I see it like this, okay, I read this as irji'. Even if it doesn't have a mark on it, okay, I know this is irji', because look at this hamza at the beginning, which we call it as hamzatul wasli. This type of hamza does not have, this one does not have a hamza on top. Okay, this so-called hamza that we look at, we call it hamzatul wasli. So for this reason, we say irji'. Okay, over here we say arji'u, because this one over here has made it to have a, arji'. What if I write in this one instead? I write irji'. Is that correct? Well, the reading is correct. The reading is correct. Understand me on this. The reading is correct. However, the way you write it is wrong. Those are two different things. The reading might be correct. So when someone is reading it to you and they say irji'u, like, okay, you're saying return. That's what it means, isn't it? You're commanding someone. But when they look at your writing, oh, irji', no, that's not how you write it. That's not how you write it. You find that in the Arab world, sometimes, and I agree for those who literally look at it, some of the scholars of Arabic, when they look, you have this thing such as in airports, you say istilamu. I don't want to discuss about if the word istilam is correct or wrong. Istilamul haqaib. Okay, or istilamul haqibah. Istilamul haqibah, مثلا. In this case, let me put diacritics on this. Istilamul حقيبة. Yeah, حقيبة. These are two words. For those who have studied compounding nouns, if they haven't, you can go back to one of our previous classes that we've had about compounding words. Now, when you compound the words, which are mainly compounding nouns, you notice that the last word will end with in a state of khafd, or so-called jar, and the main sign of the jar is the kasra. That's why I wrote a kasra. Istilamul haqibati. Now, ma'al asaf, it's read like this, but you notice that some people they don't just say this. You get what I mean? What they do, they say istilamu. They will put a kasra underneath. Sorry, and a hamza underneath. Istilamu. Now this hamza which we put here, it is wrong. It is wrong. Understood? It is wrong. Ignore. Can I ignore this? Yes, ignore. Yeah. Look, it is wrong. Now reciting it might be correct, but writing it is wrong. And this is a aib. It's a aib. Trust me, it's a fault. You find this in the Arab world, whereas the Arabs مثلا and they write istilamu, هذا غلط. وإن كان نطق الكلمة صحيحة. When it comes to pronouncing the word, it is correct, but it doesn't make it correct when it comes to writing it. Reading it, قراءة الكلمة هذه صحيحة لكن كتابتها غلط، خطأ. فهمت؟ So you notice استلام الحقيبة. لا تكتب بالهمزة تحت الألف. You don't write the hamza under the alif. استلام الحقيبة. Now, this is one example that we've looked into. One of the other examples that we have, the reason why writing Arabic is really important, and I want us to go back to the PowerPoints. Let's see. Yeah, let's go to the PowerPoints. Yeah, we have irji'u. We said irji'u, isn't it? Irji'u and warji'u. Another example, and I wrote over here. You see, warji'u مثلا. Irji'u, Yusuf number, yeah, Yusuf, sorry about that. Yeah, Yusuf number 81. Warji'u Anbiya number 13. Anbiya number 13. Aywa. Now let's go to another example. Istaghfir. Okay, I'm gonna give you this, but I'm gonna bring it to your attention as well. Istaghfir, like this. Istaghfir. It means forgive. Okay, seek forgiveness. And that's what it is. Istaghfir. Now, in Surah At-Tawbah, Allah says in Surah number 80, Istaghfir lahum, ayah number 80, Istaghfir lahum, aw la tastaghfir lahum, in tastaghfir lahum, 70 marratan falan yaghfir Allahu lahum. Wastaghfir, in Surah Muhammad, we're using the same example as irji' and warji'. واستغفر. Allah says in Surah Muhammad, فَاعْلَمْ أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهُ وَاسْتَغْفِرْ لِذَنْبِكَ. Now you notice because of this, the alif becomes silent. The hamzatul wasli becomes silent. That's one. That's another one. Let's carry on. Now, how does the alif look like at the beginning, in the middle, and at the end? Now, you see these ashkal, these examples of how these shapes that you look at. At the very beginning, you notice this is how they look like. This is how it looks like. Okay. In the middle, it looks like this. And at the end, it looks like this. Okay. Sometimes, however, it can look like this in the middle or in the end as well. That depends on the type of word that you are writing, inshallah. However, you notice these are the shapes of the alif, mainly that are used. At the beginning, you're expecting this shape. In the middle, you're expecting this shape. And at the end, you're expecting this shape, inshallah. How about the ba? Ba at the beginning is either like this, okay? Ba at the beginning is either like this, and afwan, ba at the ba on its own is like this. Ba on its own is either like this, or ba at the beginning is like this, or ba in the middle is like this, and ba at the end is supposed to be like this. So when ba is on its own, it's gonna be like this, and when it's in the at the beginning like this, in the middle like this, and at the end like this. Those are four. Now look at ta as well, same case, and the fa, similar case. That's why I put them together as one family. One family. So you see them. Once you understand how to write the ba, and also you look at the ta and the fa, they maintain the same image. The ba on its own, the ta on its own, the fa on its own. But the ba at the beginning looks like this, the ba in the middle looks like that, and it looks like this at the very end. And similarly, it applies to the rest of the other ones as well, as they are one family. When you look at jim, ha, and kha as well, they are the same. When you look at jim, ha, and kha, they are also the same, inshallah ta'ala. I hope that makes sense now. What are the other things that we have to look into? Aywa, look at this. Look at this. This is past tense of the word ibtada'a, and this is present tense. And this is what? This is commanding tense. You command someone. Understood? Now look at this. Ibtada'a, ibtada'a. And understood? Ibtada'a. How do you know that it's past? Because of this alif over here known as hamzatul qata'i. Hamzatul qata'i. The hamza which has the alif which has a hamza on top. With alif which has a hamza on top. How do you know that this is not a commanding one and it is a present tense? This one would contain this type of alif, this hamza at the very end. This one, it would contain it at the very beginning, but look at the end. It's more of a ya shape. You're more of a ya shape with a hamza on top. This is known as alif maqsura. Alif maqsura. Now these are getting a little bit technical, isn't it? I don't want you to focus on that. But look at this at the beginning. This one set it differently compared to this. You see, this one at the beginning does not have the same alif as this one. This one has a hamza on top. This one doesn't. So what do you say? Ibtadi. Ibtadi. Understood? Ibtada'a. Abtadi'u. Ibtadi. Now, of course, when it comes to grammar rules or sarf rules, according to what you expect, according to in scales, this is not how you write it. But I'm just showing you according to the science or the subject of al-imla, the subject of Arabic writing in itself. It has its own terminology in English. I forgot it. It starts with ortho something. Ortho, I don't know. Ortho, what it is. Some you can search it up like that, and then you know. However, al-imla, known as simply for Arabic writing, how do you know that this is a past tense? This is a present tense, and this is a commanding tense. Is because of the alifat, the hamazat. These hamzat that you see over here, so-called hamzatul wasli. Now you know it, and hamzatul qata'i. With these two, you get to know, okay, because of the writing, I was able to spot that this is known as a past tense verb. Because of the alif, I was able to know that this is a present tense word. And because of the alif as well, I was able to know that this is a commanding tense. Now you notice, due to this fact, learning how to write Arabic is of extreme importance. لذلك Arabic writing, Arabic reading, and Arabic speaking, especially, all of these three, they are connected together. It is impossible لطالب العلم العربية or لطالب العلم خاصة for a student of knowledge, especially, to say that I will just learn how to read, I will just learn how to speak, and I will neglect writing because technology has literally covered that for me. Actually, you can make those silly mistakes as well. I'll tell you why. Look at this. Many friends or maybe students, you notice, to me, when they write their message online, text, they write assalamu alaikum like this. Now, what's the difference between this assalamu alaikum and this assalamu alaikum? What difference do you see? Look at this assalamu alaikum and this assalamu alaikum. What difference do you see? You might say there's no difference, but actually, I can tell you, over here is just an alif, Hamza, basically Hamzatul Wasl, and then it's the sin immediately. The lam here does not exist. Understood? And then you have over here where that lam does exist, like that. Assalamu alaikum. And in the Quran, it's not written like this. This is wrong. Bear that in mind. This is correct. And I'm going to put it with green so that you can see it clearly. This is correct. Yes, aywa. وَسَيَبْقَى دَائِمًا صَحِيحًا. This will remain always to be correct. Assalamu alaikum. Why? Because there's something called in Arabic that you need to realize first of all, to bring you to your attention. We have حروف الشمسية, حروف الشمسية, like this. And then we have also حروف القمرية, حروف القمرية, حروف القمرية. What does that mean? حروف الشمسية, they are sun letters, and حروف القمرية, they are moon letters. Now, when it comes to sun letters and moon letters, the reason why they're separated from the two is only because of one small issue, because of the alif and lam at the beginning. Because of the alif and lam at the beginning. This alif and lam, for students that want to study Arabic, you can learn this, inshallah ta'ala, in our boot camp, bi'idhnillahi al-kareem. We're going to cover all of what's needed for students to learn the basics of Arabic. First of all, the signs of nouns, the signs of verbs, the signs of preposition, and we've covered literally a summary of each one of those in the playlist that you can look at in the description below. Go through the playlist, you'll see those, inshallah ta'ala, and you can go through them and learn a little bit. However, in the bootcamp, bi'idhnillah al-kareem, all of this that we've mentioned here, it will be organized for you, where we cover Arabic writing, Arabic speaking, Arabic reading, and previous students, they can be proof of that, as you can see in the reviews on the website, inshallah ta'ala. If you want to be a part of this journey and you want to embark on a journey where you can perfect your Arabic bi'idhnillah al-kareem, by not even perfecting it, just starting it and initiating that journey at the very least, especially before Ramadan, and have a different perspective or understanding of the Quran and relationship of the Quran in Ramadan and beyond that, inshallah ta'ala, do consider looking into the website of the Arabic Bootcamp in the description below. And if you want to do so, just remember the spaces that are left are very little in numbers right now, although the deadline might seem to be a bit far. Kareem. And it will be an honor to be there for you, where I will be with you throughout the whole journey of the bootcamp, where I guide you throughout, and I'll be checking on everything that you do week after week until the bootcamp comes to an end, inshallah, to the end of it, بإذن الله الكريم. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.